the fuck? Of course, we have to start off with scuff as per fucking usual. Oh well. Oh, it is working. It just took a second. All right, fine. Whatever. Hey Habu, what's up? He reads a historical ballad of Mr. Frog. Oh my god. Did you get your stream crashed too with Mr. Frog? Is now I'm also concerned because I'm like, is this really Habu or is this Admiral on Habu account? Because that's also a thing. I had to prove to Lucy that I was myself. He made me do it. Send help. Oh my god. Oh goodness. She was like, I need to make sure this is actually Eve. This is not not the Admiral on the Eve account. I was like, yeah, so about that. I was like, we need like a secret code or something that'll tell us tell us that we are actually the people behind the account. But anyway, how is everybody doing? I see a lot of, good mornings, good afternoon, good night. Yes. Today, at least in Norway, it is the eve of the Constitution Day. So, there's that. There's literally people like singing in the streets. It's actually pretty wild. It's not just happened once. It's I heard like kids singing. There were grown people singing. Like everybody is just super duper happy today, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. You okay? Habu is being held against her will right now. God. She has been I guess indoctrinated into the Mr. Frog hyperfixation for the week. Unsure, Eve? What are you talking about? Are you talking about your question before? We'll get into the 6888, and no, it is not a bomber. Not at all. This is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about the 6888, because I learned about the 6888 in, oh god, US History 1, so probably my sophomore year, but that was because my teacher was in the army. So he included a shit ton of military history in his lessons, but it is something. Oh my goodness! It's just thank you so much. I did see, or I do know that like this is the 6888 is a group of 850, or not a group, it's a battalion of 855 women, in particular black women, who helped clear up the mail situation during World War II. If people didn't know, there was no way to deliver mail in a I guess there was no process like in general. They were just holding a bunch of bags and hangers, and they that's just where they would end up. So people's letters from loved ones, their families, their children, like they 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 never got them. And then vice versa, soldiers would write back from the front lines, and families wouldn't get anything. This also included death messages as well. Letters that contained their dog tags. Unfortunately, they didn't receive those at the beginning of the war. So, that being said, totally correct that it isn't. They aren't talked about. And it's very unfortunate. In fact, I did watch the movie last night on Netflix just so I could, see how different the movie was compared to what my teacher had taught me forever ago. And it's a lot of the same sentiments of these women, when they came home, they were treated better in Europe than they were when they came back home, and that was actually something that one of the women who is still alive today, she is 100 years old, actually said at the end of the movie. We're talking about the 6888 on Netflix. It's a Tyler Perry movie, and it is based off of a true story. Yes, I have heard of the Tuskegee Airmen, absolutely, but today we are talking about the 6888. And it is just an unfortunate reality that a lot of this work and that was done, and I mean, they cleared the situation in, I believe it was Ireland, where they were holding mail. They cleared that in 90 days. Then they moved on to and got orders to, let's see, I want to say it was, oh God, it was France. And they cleared that situation, that mail situation, in 90 days as well. And so it's pretty insane. I definitely recommend, if you guys are interested, after we do talk about this, if you want to, you can watch the movie. It is obviously, it's based off of a true story, but it's also, dramatized for Netflix and whatnot. And yes, they absolutely deserve more recognition. I found a oral history video, which actually has Lieutenant Colonel Charity Adams talking about her story. And one of the reasons why I didn't want to have a documentary that we were going to watch is because these women really never got a chance to tell their story. Many people just quite honestly didn't want to hear it, and that's completely unfortunate. So we will be hearing from her. She was the highest ranking Black woman serving in the Women's Army Corps during World War II. So she is an absolute badass. But you feel bad for the 6888, considering I'm a huge military nerd. Like I said, it's not something like we can feel bad that their story was not told, but this is why I want to highlight them and highlight this stuff on this stream, is because otherwise you would never know. You would never know. It is an unfortunate reality that a lot of these stories of these great people and great battalions and the work that they did goes, unrecognized. And that's not to say they are completely unrecognized, but it took a while. It took a really, really long time. Actually, Fort Lee was renamed after Lieutenant Colonel Charity Adams and her, oh God, forgive me. I literally had her name in my head, but her XO. So she was the CO, the XO. What was her name again? Greg. That's her name. So it was actually renamed Fort Greg Adams, and that was on April 27th, 2023. So it's only been recently that these women have been able to get the recognition they deserve. So yeah, definitely not your fault, but you are here now, and I hope you walk away learning something. There are a few women from that battalion who are still survivors today. I want to say 5 of them actually showed up for the renaming, which is pretty cool. And they also have a memorial on that base for Lieutenant Colonel Charity Adams. So yeah, that is what we are going to be talking about today. And then also, I do have some of your submissions. I did pin at the top of the chat. If you have any submissions for veterans that you have not been able to, you want us to talk about, who have impacted your life, you can click that link above and you can submit. We are going to do it towards the end of stream, so you've got time. You've got plenty of time. But yeah, let me make sure also, because I just know it's gonna happen. I want to make sure that I can actually pull up the video. So we'll do that. I do have it on my on my screen. But last time we did this, I don't know fucking why. It just like did not want to work to my favor. Which I get it. I get it. We're we're being annoying with technology literally all week. Got some little news. You have little news, or are you reminding me about the blah, blah, blah. The stack up news? Oh my gosh. Okay, Remy. Whew. All right. The U.S. Navy will be placing buoys and anchors in Pearl Harbor water next week to prepare for the removal of decades-old mooring platform of the USS Arizona. Oh, they're removing that platform? Wait, what? Nani the fuck? The platforms were attached in 1942 to aid in the salvage of the vessel's main guns and equipment. They're now being removed to prevent possible damage to the Arizona and its memorial after Platform 1 partially collapsed nearly 2 years ago. Ah, okay. I see. Gotcha. I did not know that. Huh. Yeah. Very, very interesting. I didn't think... I mean, maybe I was under the impression that they were just going to keep restoring it. You know what's kind of... and I have no problem with this, and I'm also I don't want it to sound entitled or anything like that. But even if you are active duty, you still have to pay for a ticket to go to the USS Arizona Memorial. It's about $40. Usually, like active duty, you can get in like for free. So I was kind of hoping that $40 would continue restoring those platforms, but I also get it. It is kind of risky, and it's also risky because it's a port that is still active. Like, lots of tornadoes, huh? You mean in Hawaii? What? Huh? State? Oh my God! Now we're talking about tornadoes. What the fuck? We've got so many. We've got too many subjects going on. My motherfucking ADHD is gonna. I was gonna say, tornadoes at the USS Arizona Memorial in Hawaii, kind of wild. You know what? There's a lot happening in the world. At this point, I just wouldn't be surprised. I'd just be like, yeah, you know what? That actually makes sense. Oh God, I like feel like I wouldn't even, I don't know, I wouldn't even question it. um, Although I would be pretty sad if that were to happen. I like to call them my adopted sea family lives in Hawaii. I don't think I ever told this story, but coming off of my first deployment, my mentor, he okay. The thing about my mentor is he is respectfully an absolute fucking crackhead. We are still very much in contact today. We're both out of the military now. He served for, I think he ended, I want to say 14 years. And then obviously I did my 4 now. But anyway, he was my sponsor coming to the ship. His family, he's from Hawaii. And his mom went to high school with the governor of Hawaii at the time, which was fucking nuts. So the governor of Hawaii ended up getting us a penthouse at a hotel that was next to Ala Moana, and Ala Moana is a huge motherfucking mall. Like, it is the biggest outdoor mall in the United States. And so it was so insane. His entire family came over they live on Maui, so they came to Oahu, and they baked a whole bunch of stuff, cooked a whole bunch of stuff. We had like a home cooked meal after a absolutely fucking horrible deployment. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. It was pretty bad. I mean, given this was a pre-COVID deployment, so I guess it wasn't too bad. But like, I was dude is so happy. His mom is such a fucking sweetheart, and I would be so devastated. They did deal with the fires. Unfortunately, was it? We're going on 2 years now. Um, so there's that. So tornado would not would not want that anywhere near them. Um, but yeah, there that is a you make family wherever you go. And still in contact today, obviously with my mentor, but also his mom as well, um, and his family. They are just absolute amazing people. And it's like one of my fondest memories. Another memory I have is like during that time, Dance Monkey had just come out, and I listen. I know some people have their feelings about Dance Monkey in general as a song, like very inflammatory feelings. But I relate that song to Coming Home, because it was on AFN, and we had no idea. We had no idea about like new music that had come out uh, during the time that we were deployed. So we're listening to this song like, man, this is fucking catchy. So every time I hear Dance Monkey, I'm like, shit. This reminds me of Coming Home from my first deployment. Uh, my state had some tornadoes roll through. Went under tornado warning. Had a shelter and basement. Everything was fine. No damage. I have a good Brother Eve story. I love how I tell Brother Eve stories. He's not even here to defend himself. But anyway, I used to be really into the Weather Channel. As a child, it was like a hyperfixation for a little bit. I don't know what it was. I loved watching it. Jim Cantori was my dude. I don't even know. But fuck, dude. So I used to watch like literally every show that was on the Weather Channel, whether it was like Hurricane Watch or like fucking Storm Chasers or something like that. Thank you, Miss Foxy. Um, but anyway, I love that shit. My brother Eve, very scared. Very scared of anything weather, of anything fucking like tornadoes. It just he absolutely fucking hated it. So the one time we had a tornado warning. We had a tornado warning, and obviously the emergency alert system pops up on the on the TV. And like, it makes that like really aggressive fucking noise. So he hears it, and then he hears a tornado warning has been issued for your area, blah blah. This is prior to smartphones. This is pre alert system on iPhones. So it was just the TV. He got so scared, and he started like rambling about how he was relating it to Storm Chasers on Weather Channel and how I quote unquote forced him to watch it. I did not. It was just on the TV. If he wanted it off, he could have told me, but he didn't. Anyway, so he starts rambling. Then he goes and runs outside. For what reason? I have no fucking idea. That made zero sense. We had a basement. You would think he would run to the basement. No, he ran outside, looked at the sky, and at that point, Papa Eve pulls into the driveway, and he just sees Brother Eve standing in the driveway, looking up at the sky, absolutely panicking because he thinks a tornado is coming. So Papa Eve gets out of the car, says, "What are you doing standing in the middle of the driveway? Like, I would like to pull in, please." He just starts rambling about how this fucking tornado is gonna come out of nowhere. And Papa Eve goes, "Then why aren't you inside? Like, why did you go from, like, what was the fucking point?" Why did you decide that running outside to come look at the sky was the ideal situation? Anyway, there was no tornado. Tornado never came because it's the Northeast. Like, you occasionally will get a tornado warning, but like There's tornadoes don't go very far. They don't even touch down. Like so he wanted to fight a tornado. I don't know. I still don't know what the logic was there. Like I genuinely could not tell you. I mean, he was young. Shit. He was probably, I don't know, like 7, maybe. Yeah, he was probably like 7 or 8. So like there was no logic. It was kid logic. But like he also, he's not dumb. Like he knew that you're supposed to either go to a bathtub or like go to the basement, and he just didn't fucking he didn't do it. Instead, he ran outside to go stare at the sky. So, yeah, how do we go from 6888 to weather? It's chat ADHD. It happens. It happens. We have time. Listen, we have tons of time. I did not get a lot of submissions for this week. However, I do want to get to our our oral history video, so we will get to that. But I we gotta give some Brother Eve lore. It's some new lore drop every week. I swear to God. Oh gosh, it just when you grow up with siblings, it's always a fun time. It's always a fun time. Oh boy, yeah. I feel like that's also not the only weather related story I have about him, but that's probably the funniest in my opinion. So I can't relate. Listen, so I feel like this is retribution. Okay, I'll tell another Brother Eve story. So we had this Thomas the Tank Engine tent. Okay, it was like one of those indoor tents that you can like pitch out and like kids can play in it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, okay, I feel I want to find a picture. I want to find a picture of this because this was a sick ass tent. Okay, it had like 2 compartments. It had Thomas the Tank Engine, and then it had one of the cars that went with it. Because Thomas was always carrying those like the two passenger cars. So it was like a tent that you could like crawl through, and it had like different sections and shit. Like this tent was sick. Okay, tent was sick. And I don't know what fucking possessed him to do this shit. He went through a biting phase when he was like, I don't know, fucking like 3 or some shit. So like he kept fucking biting my finger in the tent, and fucking Papa Eve fucking had enough of that shit. Took the Thomas the Tank Engine tent and fucking threw it out the back door. Just fucking threw it out the back door. There was no more Thomas the Tank Engine tent. I've never seen Thomas the Tank Engine fly so fucking far. But he was so fucking done. How do you construct that tent? They were just like pop-up tents. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can... Oh my god, holy shit, I found it. I found it. Okay. Holy shit. Wait. Why can't I pull up... I want to pull up the full photo. Come on, Google. Just, okay. Open an image as a new tab. Okay, alright. After this, then we'll do our 6888 thing. But I need to show you this tent was fucking sick as shit. Like, and I was absolutely devastated that this fucking Thomas the Ballistic Engine. Yeah. It's just channeling that army energy. Yeah, I mean this is what happens when veterans parent. Is it just the most unhinged shit? I mean, it's funny. It's funny now, but I was completely devastated because this tent was sick as fuck, and you'll see why in a second. All right, let's go to the reaction part. Also, we fixed the transition, so hopefully it doesn't make people's ears bleed. So, all right, let's try it out. Let's see. Alrighty, I'll Also, I need to fix where I end up on the fucking screen. It sounds nice. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Water? Yes, it is water. It's always been water. But it's been ear bleed water. So, you know, there's that. Actually, let me just save this, and then I'll just put it so I don't have to pull out, you know, all the crazy fucking stops. I'll just put it where. Okay, this was the tent. This was the Thomas the Tank Engine tent. You see how it has, you know, it's got like, you know, the main Thomas the Tank Engine part. Then it literally had that like section where you could have like a totally other section, and it was separated in the middle, so it was cool as shit. Like, I don't know, I love this tent. I loved the tent as a kid. And it literally just popped up. Like, you didn't have to like do anything. It just was like a spring. And it would just, you know, you could just pop it up, and yeah, the kids could play in it. When was this? Like, I kind of want to see. You can find it, I guess, on the Totally Thomas Toy Depot, which I didn't even know was a thing, but they sell vintage Thomas the Tank Engine stuff. So I guess if you're into that. No. I kind of want to see, from what year was this? Because this is, I mean, it had to have been like 2000 fucking 3 at the very least. Oh, there's apparently another one that, or maybe it's the same one. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked on fucking Thomas the Tank Engine. Does seem like something Toys R Us would have had. Yeah, honestly, I don't even know where we got it. To be completely honest, and I don't even know. It might have been a gift from somebody, because I don't remember us getting it. If you're into that, sounds like a fetish. No, I'm not saying people have a Thomas the Tank Engine. No, that's not what I'm saying. No, not at all. Not at all. What I am saying, though, is this was a sick-ass tent, and also we need to get back on track. Because, otherwise I could literally fucking talk about this tent all fucking day and how cool it was and how upsetting it was that Thomas the Tank Engine flew into the backyard. Okay, anyway. Anywho. Alrighty. Let's get Thomas off the... Yeah, Eve needs to get back on track. Exactly. I need to get back on track. Now, why in the fuck are we doing this again? I love when things don't cooperate with me. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. That's been the theme. I don't understand why. Why do you do this to me? Time for some vet stuff. I'm trying to pull up the Charity Adams oral history video. And we just, you know, fucking hell. Why? See, why is that so hard? What? You know, sometimes... Hello? Sometimes I want to throw OBS out the back door. Like the Thomas the Tank Engine tent, quite frankly. Because why does it resize itself literally every freaking week? For a while, though, we were doing good. Like, it would just pop up and everything would be fine. No, not in this case. No, sir. We have to be difficult. We have to make life difficult. So anyway, okay. This is the from obviously the U.S. Army Women's Museum, and this is her actually telling her story. Um, you know, and I again, I really want people to, because you switch screens. No, it wasn't that. I honestly could not tell you. Could not tell you. But yeah, I really want people to hear it from people from this 6888, because again, they did not get the chance to properly tell their story, and that is an, absolute fucking shame. Maybe if I don't want to fuck with it too much, but oh no, it's just a small screen. Okay. Oh no. Audio seems good. Okay. It's 1990. True. True.
Hello. I am retired Army Brigadier General Evelyn P. Foote, or Pat, as most of my friends know me.
Hell yeah,
the
Pat.
tape that we are making today is being made in conjunction with the Women's Army Corps Foundation's audiovisual program, and especially that part of the program that will be dealing with Black WAC history. Here today to talk about the service as a member of the Women's Army Corps, which she experienced during the Second World War, is Mrs. Charity Adams
full window
Early,
it.
who is a most distinguished soldier,
I wish I could.
An educator, a wife, a mother, and a much-honored citizen of Dayton, Ohio. Mrs. Early, good afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon to you.
Let's go back to the beginning.
So the reason why I need to keep it like this is so we can avoid any copyright strikes. Because as much as I would love to like just download the video and just use it, I want to make sure that we do not get any fucking strikes. No strikes on my Twitch or my YouTube. So if you show that you're watching it from YouTube, it shows that you are you're using fair use. And obviously I'm commentating over it and everything like that. But still, we don't want that. We don't need strikes. So apologies, it is a small window. It does not seem, I guess we could try this. Let's try theater mode. Okay, I feel like that's slightly better, but why can't we, can I just slightly, yes. But yeah, it's for fair use purposes. It's not for any other reason, so I apologize. We need to keep in the good graces.
Right. When you made that big decision to enlist in the United States Army, that was back in 1942, wasn't it?
That's right.
And could you tell me where you were at that time, what you were doing at that time, and what made you decide to enlist?
I was living in Columbia, South Carolina, where I had grown up. I'd finished college, and I was teaching in the public schools there. And as you will know, that in 1942, this country had segregation and discrimination against minorities. And when the opportunity came for me to try something else, I decided to do it. Teaching was about the only thing available for you unless you went into domestic service in that part of the country. So I was rather, I guess the Army was recommended to me, and I was recommended to it, as were most of us who were in the first officer candidate class, and I decided to take it.
I understand one of your deans at Wilberforce University had recommended you.
Dean Teal, the Dean of Women, had recommended me, and several other women from our who graduated from Wilberforce. Not all of them chose to investigate this potential for service, but I did. And
I'm very curious, what did your family think about this?
I think my family thought it couldn't happen, as most people did. And so when I mentioned it to them and I filled out the application, they reminded me that they had always taught us to think for ourselves and make decisions. But again, they told me to do that when they thought it couldn't happen.
Right.
But when it did happen, they were extremely supportive.
Very fine. Were they able to be there the day you were enlisted into the service?
No. Strangely, I applied from South Carolina, but I went in from Columbus, Ohio, because the Army didn't answer me fast enough, and I went on back to graduate school.
And that's where they caught up with you.
And that's where they caught up with
With the
me, and that's
letter.
where I went in. So I came in from the 5th Service Command.
Now, exactly when was that in 1942?
I was inducted into the service on July 13th, 1942.
How did you get out to Fort Des Moines?
Well, that was half of the Ohio contingent. The other half showed up on the July 18th, 1942, and we were prepared to embark for Fort Des Moines right then and there. And
Fantastic.
so when they were inducted, the second half of the group, we all were marched, and that's where we learned how you march. We were marched into a train.
Into a train, there you sat for a
There
few
we
days.
sat. And we came on to Des Moines then.
So you came into Fort Des Moines and you were members of that first officer candidate class.
That's right.
And tell us something about the training you had there, your officers, and
first
if you remember
officer
the
candidate
names of
class,
individuals
too.
that we could record here.
Yes. Colonel Don Faith was the commandant
Yes.
of the First Right Training Center at that particular time. When we all jumped out of those trucks at the back of, at Des Moines, at the back of those trucks, we were marched into a staging center, a reception center, I guess it was. We had to learn the terms. The reception center, and the first thing that took place was literally a shock to us. There had been 25 of us who had traveled together from Columbus, Ohio, and an officer came in and asked if the colored girls would move over to some seats he had way over in the corner. And then he proceeded to call the rest of them by name to send them to their quarters. And of course, we were sort of shocked that this kind of action would take
Right.
place. When they call you by name, just call everybody by name. But we survived that, and we went to our separate quarters, number 54 at Fort Des Moines, Iowa, and that's where we had our basic training. Now, as for the training, it was all the same. And we were in the 3rd platoon of the 1st company of the 1st training regiment, and we had exactly the same training. But we did.
Was your training separate from the white women, or were you together?
Sometimes when it called for platoon size group, it was separate. But when it was company size or in mass demonstrations of physical training out on the parade ground, we were all together.
You were all together
Yes.
there. How would you say the white women in the company, and I'm sure many of them were from the South,
Yes.
so areas that were used
Yeah.
to segregation, how did they receive you as fellow officer candidates?
We all approached each other cautiously. Remember, segregation was on both sides.
Absolutely.
So we all approached each other cautiously. And I must say that although we were in separate quarters, we knew the members of our class, we had our formations together, and there was only one real incident all the time we were in officer training school. Remember, we're a select group, and I guess they hoped that some of the foolishness of that sort of stuff would stay out of it. So we only had one very bad incident, and after that was over, she was all right.
Very, very, very good. Well, now you graduated in August of 1942
It's 29 August 1942.
and were commissioned at that time 3rd officer.
3rd officers, that's
And
right.
I understand you stayed at Fort Des Moines for quite some
I stayed
time.
at Fort Des Moines until January 1945. But I had lots of different assignments.
Tell us about the different assignments you
Well,
had there.
I must tell you that the afternoon after we graduated, 2 things happened. Some of us moved into officers' quarters on Officers' Row out of the barracks.
Right.
That afternoon after we'd moved, we were interviewed. And I remember that, I don't remember what his face looked like, but the officer who interviewed me didn't look up. He asked, "You Adams?" "Yes, sir." "Do you want to recruit?" "Yes, sir." "No, sir, I don't know what it is." "Yes, sir." "What do you want to do?" "I don't know, sir." He said, "Thank you. I don't know what I'm going to do with you young women. You're too young to be in the Army in the first place." That was on Saturday, and Monday morning I was made a company commander.
As your very
Could
first
you-
As my
assignment.
first assignment
Could
was
you
a company
imagine?
commander.
One thing I had forgotten earlier, when you were getting issued your uniforms, were they good? Were they a
Like, you
good
literally
fit, or
just
were
got
they
in the
what I
Army,
have
and they're
heard
like,
in the
"Yep, you're a
past, that,
company
you
commander
got a little
now.
bit of everything.
Good luck."
Of the 40 women in the first group of the black women, only 2 people got a uniform the first day we went for uniforms.
Only 2.
They were-
I will say, she does, if I remember correctly, she has like, I don't know if it's a double major or triple major, but she's in some sort of STEM field, and I could look it up after this, but she has like a double or triple fucking major. So you know, extremely educated woman. And obviously, you heard that she was going for her master's degree when the Women's Army Corps caught up with her. So
Either the waistline was too small, because we were young, slender women that too small, the skirts were too short, the sleeve, I remember my sleeves were always too short, I have long arms. And and my feet, they had an argument about what size shoe I had worn before versus what the Army sizes were. But we got pieces of uniform. Everybody got a hat.
Everyone got the hat.
Everybody got a hat and a purse.
Yeah.
And so that we were authorized to use all the pieces we had and just keep on adding to it as we got the other pieces. At the end of about 3 weeks, when the last shoe order came, when another new shoe order came in, we finally got everybody uniform, and we loved them.
Outstanding. Now, you told me earlier, I believe, that you and one other person were the two who remained at Fort Des Moines initially. Who was the other one?
The other one was Major Mary Lou Milligan, who later became director of the Corps. I saw her here today.
Yes.
And she and I stayed. We were both in headquarters. She was Colonel McCoskey, the post command, the training center commander's assistant, and I was a head staff officer at headquarters who, as I used to put it, on any assignment Colonel Mack couldn't find what to do with, he gave it to me. So, but we traveled with him quite a bit.
But you cut your teeth, so to speak, your first assignment on company command.
Was a company commander.
Because you had all of several weeks'
Absolutely
experience already in training.
I did. I had with company commander. And
when was this exactly?
this would have been September the 1st. How many days in August? September the 1st, I guess it was. That I got the assignment. We had no troops. There weren't any black troops then, but a few had come in and they'd been put in with other companies. But first we had to locate the buildings in Boomtown. If you remember, Boomtown was a new part of the post. And we had to locate the building, get supplies, and we each were carrying an officer's guide and a quartermaster manual under our arms so that this would tell us what to do, and relying on what we'd seen our company commander, Captain Stillman, do when we were in training.
Very, very fine. How long were you a company commander?
I was a company commander from that September until May of 1943, when I was moved to headquarters, and by this time I was a captain. And later on, after I became a training officer, I was promoted to major. And I was a major for a long time.
Well, I'll tell you, but in your entire career, for what, about 4 years?
Yes,
from,
I did very well.
From third officer to lieutenant colonel.
I'm
not a bad
complaining.
promotion
It's
rate.
just the first part
Yes.
of it came so fast that the other part seemed slow.
Well, now tell us about the second job when you were a staff training officer.
The staff training office was responsible for the training that took place in the basic companies and officer candidate school. We had nothing to do with the housing and the clothing and the feeding. That was the company officers' duties, but we were responsible for seeing that they were trained, and there were many officers there to do the training, but we checked on attendance and whether the officer was teaching properly, even though he had been in the Army many years more than we had, and we were just supervising the training. And we also wrote courses when new courses were required. I remember one of the early courses we wrote was a course for officers training overseas, which as soon as it was finished, they decided they wouldn't do it anymore. So, but then, as I said, I took on
Love
many
that.
other assignments. The seventh
You
service
write out a whole
command in
thing and they're
Omaha
like, yeah, we're not going to use it
ordered
anymore.
the post commanders
Sorry.
and unit commanders to have somebody who did work simplification.
That's something that never
was
changed.
what, equivalent to a civilian efficiency expert, I think. So I got that assignment, and then the following that I got the assignment. They didn't change, they got added on to. I was assigned to forms control. That was another directive from the service. I think that one came from the Pentagon. That we had to survey the forms on the post. Everybody was creating forms so badly. We were running out of numbers,
Yes.
and I had to collect and study the forms and see if I could come up with forms that would consolidate as many as possible, which I did. I enjoyed that one. And just certain little jobs that got assigned to me. I escorted visitors, explained the wax to people, later on accompanied bands on bond sales trips.
Right.
Yeah.
I would imagine you had many visitors to Fort Des
We
Moines
did.
during those years.
We were all curios, so to speak. I must say that beginning at when I moved up to the headquarters, I never found that there was any racial distinction in the assignments. As a matter of fact, I was taking on everybody else.
Very good. Now, you had another job there. You became a station control officer. What is that?
That was that was a enlarged form of the work simplification.
Okay.
Yeah, there was sort of an efficiency expert. Just whenever they, and also I responded to complaints.
Very fine.
Little racial combats, little misunderstandings, women who wouldn't sign their discharge because they were pregnant, any of those kinds of things. I got assigned that to go out and take care of. I was a troubleshooter. That's the civilian title.
And of course, earlier in this period of time, we went from being an auxiliary corps to being the Women's Army Corps.
On September the 1st, 1943, on August the 30th, I guess, we were all discharged. And on September the 1st, those who chose to stay in the service were sworn into the Army, to the Women's Army Corps.
Very fine.
And we lost, I have since heard that we lost about a third of that first group, but I didn't think it was that large from my point of view, you know, so because most of us were, having gotten over the initial training, we were very pleased to be there.
For the duration in 6.
For the duration in 6.
Well, I guess it was about 1945 that word began to spread that possibly you were going to go overseas. Could you tell us about this? Because this truly is so unique.
Well, actually, the WACs had been going overseas for quite some time, and as I understand it, they were afraid that if they sent black WACs overseas, we would cause a problem. I never have found out quite what they meant by that. But eventually there was sufficient pressure from the press and so forth that they finally decided to go overseas. And that's when, as I told you, I had been put on orders to go to Command and General Staff School.
I know.
And I was taking blitz courses so I could be as bright as those staff officers and field officers who were at Command and General Staff School. I was taken off those orders and given orders to go overseas after Colonel McCroskey ascertained that I was willing to go, as if that had anything to do with it. He just wanted me to go happy.
I would imagine at that time, although perhaps I'm wrong, that just the awareness of the fact that you were becoming truly a part of women's military history by being the first black commander of a black female battalion to go to Europe. How did that hit you?
Well, you don't really think history when you're doing something.
No,
it's not history until after you do it. So actually, I understood that several officers had wanted that assignment, but I had the most troop experience. So if you're going to send nearly 1,000 people overseas, you want somebody who has troop experience. So it was almost a case of not having much choice. And I wanted, if we went, I wanted us to do as good a job as I thought we had done at Fort Des Moines. And therefore, that's how I thought about doing the job well. Although I didn't know what the job was, and I didn't know where I was going when I left the stage, I knew that, and this is a premise that I have used in the Army and any place else, given the same opportunity and training, I'm sure I can do as well as anybody else.
Absolutely. Well, you knew it was the 6888?
No, not then. I didn't know what it was.
You didn't know that then, what it was going to be?
Captain Noel Campbell and I was sent over a couple of weeks ahead of the troops to get things ready for them, and it wasn't until, and they sent us to, we thought we were going to Paris. And we opened our sealed orders 1 hour after we were in flight and found that we were going to London. And we reported to the White Staff Director there, and we found out that we were going to be in the Postal Directory Service. And we worked for a week with the Postal Service under the Adjutant General's office. We paid all the respect calls you're supposed to pay, and then we set out getting the place ready for our troops to come. And I knew I was the commanding officer because they told me I was, and also I was a senior officer, and everybody else had been told I was the officer. I kept waiting for my orders from the War Department, which incidentally didn't arrive until after I got out of the service. But on May 1st, 1945, I issued General Order 1 for 6888 and declared myself as taking command. I had to have something to work with.
Tremendous. The 6888 Central Postal Directory Battalion.
All of that.
And the women that you called it.
Actually, so I'm going to pause this because it's funny because in the movie, like, you see her and you know, correct me, captain. I believe she had made captain at that point, Captain Campbell, on the plane, and they were instructed like, you do not open your orders until you cross the Atlantic. And one of the commentaries was that like, well, everybody else has two envelopes in their hand, and it's one from the Department of the Army and the other from the War Department. And so obviously the War Department is going to be, you know, combat orders. So they were like, where's our War Department orders? They were ready to go over there and go kick butt, pretty much. So I do think that's kind of funny that was, I guess, added in to that section. And then, yes, it is also true that they did not write her a designation letter or anything. She ended up just designating herself. And for a lot of reasons, that was, you know, inflammatory, I guess you could say. Because the people did not think that they could do this, that they could accomplish this mission. And so they didn't even designate. They didn't even fucking designate her as taking control of the 6888.
The 6888.
We call it the 6888.
How large a unit was it when you finally were in place? And
well, we had approximately 800 enlisted women and 31 officers.
It's a good-sized battalion.
That's a good-sized battalion. And everywhere we went, we had certain units attached to us for further service. We went to Birmingham, England, and the second batch of troops came on April 1st. We went in February, and they came on April 1st. And then we were up to full strength. But I must tell you what happened just before the troops arrived in England. General John C.H. Lee, who was commanding general of the communication zone in the ETO, invited Noel and me to dinner. And dinner was in our honor, and it was very nice and very swanky in the George Cinq Hotel. And we're in the midst of the dinner, as you mix protocol and sociality together. But General Lee said to me, "Adams, can your troops march?" And there is only one answer when a general asks you a question. The answer is, you have never seen better marching troops in your life. And he said, "When do they arrive?" And I said, "They arrive on the 13th, on the 12th, they'll be in quarters on the 13th, and he said, I'll be down on the 15th to see them march."
That was your arrival welcome?
That was my arrival welcome for the troops. Well, the troops had come over on the Ile-de-France, and it had taken 11 days, and they'd been chased by submarines for several days. Right. So that, with the salt water and being unaccustomed to shipboard facilities, it was a rather sad-looking lot that got off, but we were ready for them.
So, also to add some background, the Ile-de-France is a civilian ship, and they came over with 0 military escort. Whereas normally troop movement, you would have a military escort. Unfortunately, the 6888 got no military escort. And so they were, chased by, German U-boat almost the entire way. So just something to think about.
And we marched for General Lee, and he was so pleased he wrote my father a letter and told him I was a fine young woman, so I was very pleased.
That is great. How about the reception of the other troops in the area? Now, you came into Birmingham.
We came into Birmingham, yes.
And is that where you did your coming together, your training together? And
well, I had the troops in Fort Oglethorpe for training,
right.
Yes. But the postal training we had there,
right
and the
there.
assignments. And Noel and I had pretty much decided what we would be doing here and what we would be doing in the office space and so forth. But the citizens received us quite in hand, but with a lot of curiosity. Right. The American troops received us in lots of ways. White GIs, there were no white WACs near us in Birmingham. The white GIs told tales about us. The Red Cross wanted to segregate us, and the British just wanted to visit us and see what was going on. But I refused to accept any segregated facilities that they wanted to create for them, and after that they didn't try.
Very fine. Were there white WACs in the area when you got there?
There were not any white WACs in Birmingham, but there were white WACs in lots of places on UK, and they all used the same WAC Recreational Hotel in London. And this is where the real problem came in. The Red Cross wanted to set up another hotel for the black WACs. And I promised them that it would be over my dead body before anybody slept there. And nobody slept there, to my knowledge.
So it went off when
And when I got to France, they said they had trouble with me, and I said, no, I had trouble with you, and they promised me I wouldn't have any trouble with them. So
outstanding. Were the French as receptive or as curious as the English? Or
The French were receptive until after VE Day. If you will recall, they all wanted us to go home the day after
Immediately.
right after VE Day. Don't pick up your equipment, anything, just go home. And the signs on the walls in Paris, for example, that had said Kilroy was here. Many young service people don't know about that sign, I don't think, but when they said Kilroy was here, underneath was written Yankee Go Home. This was within a week of VE Day.
as early as that?
As early as that.
Amazing. So you were there for actually the birth of an organization, activating the battalion, bringing it over,
That's right.
and performing the very important mission of getting the mail out to the soldiers.
And when we arrived, the Battle of the Bulge, which was between December the 15th, 44, and January 15th, 45, had created an enormous backlog of mail. Even all the mail which had gone to the continent for American GIs had been moved back to UK, to England, because the fighting was so severe. And at that point, they didn't know which way the fighting was going to go.
Right.
So our first job was to deliver the packages and Christmas packages that had piled up, and the Christmas mail that had piled up from Christmas 1944 that was still back there, to get it out. And that was our first job. We worked 3 shifts, 8 hours a day, and we did get a commendation for delivering that mail at top speed.
It's tremendous. Of course, this was the latter part of the war also, and after VE Day, with what appeared to be the most rapid demobilization possible, your unit began to lose some of its strength too, rather rapidly too, didn't it?
Yes, well, they were beginning to earn the sufficient points. If you remember, they came home on point system.
On the points.
And many of them came home and were reassigned, and amazingly, many people have great difficulty believing that black troops, whether women or men, were there and patriotic. Many of them were very patriotic, and they were there to win the war. And when the war was over, they had done their duty and they wanted to go back home. There were even women who came from families where there were no sons.
Right.
And they joined the service to represent their family in the war effort. And so as these people began to earn their points, they wanted to come back home.
Right.
I came back home, and the only potential assignment I was going to stay for a while, but the only assignment they had for me in the Pentagon. I had had 2 different 30-day temporary duty assignments in the Pentagon, and I kept getting lost. I decided I didn't want to go in the Pentagon.
30 years later, 40 years later, it hadn't changed a bit. People still get lost
in
there.
the Pentagon.
So when did you come home?
I came home at the end of December 1945.
I love how she's like, I didn't want to work at the Pentagon, because that is still a very, very much a sentiment today. Remember, I had an officer who had a full out crash out about getting Pentagon orders. Like, absolutely not happy. I mean, he made it through, but he was apparently pretty miserable for those 3 years. Yes, I am seeing your messages. The reason why I'm not responding is it's not quite appropriate for the topic, friend. This is that's not this type of stream. So thank you.
And you weren't discharged immediately then, though. You stayed home.
All of my troops, not all the troops had come home from the 688, but it was now so small, I didn't fit the TO, so
Right.
I came home. I didn't come out until end of March in 46.
In 1946. So
yeah.
you had slightly less than 4 years of
Yeah, I
service.
tell you, I wasn't complaining. I did very well.
You did outstandingly to retire as or to come off active duty as a lieutenant colonel. Did you retain any reserve affiliation?
No, I did not.
When you came off
No,
active
I did
duty?
not.
So you went back to school at that time then?
I went back to
and
school.
got your master's
I finished
degree?
my master's.
Used your GI Bill, I hope.
I certainly did. I not
Hell
only used
yeah,
it there.
GI Bill.
I married a man who was in medical school in Switzerland. I worked on a doctorate at the University of Zurich in Switzerland
Fantastic. With the GI Bill.
with the GI Bill.
Now, you and many of the members of the unit have maintained real close contacts
indeed.
over the
I would have to
years.
check how long
That's
she
right.
was
So,
in for. We can
Tell me
check
how
after
you've done
this.
this.
Well, I guess it must have been about 10, maybe 12 years ago that a group of women up, I guess, in the New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia area and whatnot began to get together for reunions. We all kept in touch with those people who were close to us, you know.
Right.
But they began to have reunions, and I didn't get involved at that time because they couldn't find me. They were looking for me by my maiden name, and I had been married
And you
for
had been
quite
married,
some
yes.
time. So they finally found me, and I went to my first reunion in 1988.
Wonderful. Well, we are certainly glad that you came to this one this year.
I
and so
am
many of
too.
your organization are
Yes,
here also.
many of my friends, and as they refer to themselves, my troops.
Your troop. There'll
my-
always be your troops.
That's true. And even though I tell them, please call me by my first name, oh, I can't do that.
Never.
No,
You will
that's
always be the ma'am, I am sure.
Yes, I'm afraid.
There are so many things that are very unique about your service, but none is more unique today that I should discuss than the fact that Mrs. Early is the author of
I was
an
gonna mention that
outstanding
too.
book
She does have a
published
book.
in 1989, One Woman's Army, which accounts for her experiences in World War II as a black soldier in the United States Army. I think I would speak for many of the women who say that we are proud of what you did for us and what you did in serving the Army.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so that was her spoken. What is the? I can't remember what the rest of this video is. To be completely honest, I think it's just dead space. But we can absolutely look up, you know, how long she was in. Let's go back to our Yap screen, shall we? Alrighty. Yeah, she did die in '02. That is true. Let's see, Charity Adams, because I don't quite remember. Did she serve? So she served from 1942. I want to say 1942, 1946. I feel like she was in for a lot longer. No, it says 1942 to 1946. So she served 4 years. Again, made it up to lieutenant colonel, which is extremely impressive. Extremely impressive. But yeah, I'm glad you guys were able to hear it from her own point of view. Because again, this is a topic and a group of women, a group of veterans that like really never had their story told up until recently. I think a lot of people learned about the 6888 because Netflix came out with that Tyler Perry movie, which again I watched yesterday. It was very, very good. And you know, unless somebody were to tell you about them, like my sophomore C push. Don't give me too much credit. I was not in AP classes. Like my sophomore C push teacher did. I probably would have never known about them, or never even would have looked into them. And part of the reason why he actually was talking about it was because I said, hey, for my computer science class, I'm writing a paper on Grace Hopper. So this all, you can kind of see where my military history, you know, I guess, I don't know, journey, not really started, but how it's progressed. Yeah. There is a lot, and they're definitely not the only ones who haven't had their story told properly. Obviously, there are so many stories out there that haven't been told, which is also part of the reason why I want to do these reading submissions and reading people, because to be clear, you would never hear about this stuff. So, your chat cleared for you. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Over 3,000. So I believe it was 855 whack. But that might have been just for the mission that they did in London and in whatchamacallit, France. So I believe it was 855 took those orders. Over the course of the battalion, I am not quite sure. It probably would have been close to 3,000 because, like you heard her say, people have started racking up their points to be able to go home. So as people were being sent home, obviously you need to replace people. So I would say maybe it was 3,000 by the end, but for now, or for the mission that they are most famous for, it was 855. So let me make sure I can read our submissions and stuff like that for this week. We have 3 for people who submitted veterans they want to recognize. If you do have a submission, not too late. We still have, what is it, like a little over 45 minutes left in stream. So, click that link above and just fill it out. Also keep in mind, we want to know about this person. So don't just say, oh, because I'm nominating them because they served in the Army. Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. But we want to know about them and how they have helped you or affected you. But God, where's the wrap text fucking function? God. I can never, not text rotation. Jesus Christmas. I know it's there somewhere. Oh, can I only, dumb. This is so dumb. Apparently I can only do it for columns. I can't do it for that makes no fucking sense. For as long as I've used spreadsheets, I really hate them. Like with a burning fucking passion. God. They're very annoying. They're very annoying. But I want to be able to like read properly and without. Okay. All right. We're good now. Crisis avoided. Oh God. All right. So we are going to start off with Master Gunnery Sergeant Jonathan T. He was in the Marines. He was an 0331, which is infantry, 0372 critical skills operator. And in the Marine Raiders. And he served from 2000 to 2017 with his campaign being Operation Enduring Freedom. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So he served in Operation Enduring Freedom during his time served. He served 7 combat deployments, 3 in Iraq, 2 in Afghanistan, 2 in Africa. A story he told me and showed me, combat footage, was the Second Battle of Fallujah. He and my cousin were 2 of the first 200 into Fallujah. One of the stories he told during the time was that he was clearing houses with his squad when his lieutenant was shot through a closed door. And they were able to breach. Out of anger and fear, my brother lifted the I've glasses. I need glasses, dude. M249 saw and mag. Dumped 80 rounds through the door before finally breaching. Inside, they found 5 insurgents, and on the other, luckily, I'm also cutting out some pieces just because I don't want us to get struck, or I don't know. I feel like Twitch is okay with a lot of things, but there's some things that I have to kind of censor, I guess we could say. And luckily, his lieutenant survived. And he stayed for all 6 weeks. He loves hunting and fishing. He loved hanging out with friends. With me, hanging out with me and being the best big brother he could be to me, and taught me so much before succumbing to his PTSD in 2017. Shit. Rest in peace. Fair winds and following seas to him. That is a very, very tough battle. So not only why are you nominating him? I guess I should have said what the questions were so you guys knew. But so why are you nominating him? Not only was he my oldest brother, but my best friend. He helped mold me into the man I am today. Without him, I don't know where I would be. So just telling a little bit about him and remembering him always brings a tear and a smile to my face. Well, thank you for submitting him and nominating him. And I'm glad that we could get to know him better. Alrighty. So yes, if you hear me stumbling over stuff, it's because like some things I do have to censor. I love, was it Remy says Swiss cheese that room? I love that. I try to keep my dark humor to like kind of a, you know, we gotta dumb it down, but I couldn't have said it better, my friend. Oh boy. Oh gosh. Anyway. All right, we have Sergeant Javier O. He's in the Army, 89 Delta, 19th EOD. He served in the Army from 1970 to 1974, and then served in the reserves from 1974 to 1980, and the Vietnam War from 1971 to 1972. So what stories, or tell us about their service? Any stories they like to tell? I guess Sergeant Javier likes to tell a story that during fire watch in the dead of night, around 1 to 3 a.m., he had taken a number 2, as one does. Honestly, great hours to do so. He proceeded to climb down his tower and go to a nearby tree around 10 feet from him. He went, squatted down, as one does, and as he squatted down, he heard a loud thud above him. He looked up only to see a good-sized hole in the tree that wasn't there before. He ran back to the tower. He for anybody curious, he did not have a chance to wipe. Oh god. He ran back to his tower and proceeded to empty 3 magazines while using full auto into the tree line, and the whole base woke up and sounded the alarm. By then, the sniper ran away. Listen, I feel like we always, all of us who have served have a poop story. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Everybody has a poop story. Oh god. We'll finish this one up, and Papa Eve has one that's pretty funny that I'll tell. I can also tell. I unfortunately have like 2, and it's not necessarily mine either, but unfortunately, I do have stories about that. Tell us more about them outside of their service. He loves to travel. He really likes jazz, preferably Louis Armstrong. He's a big tech gadget guy, and he's also the father of Major Louis O., the same one who almost got hit by a boom boom. Ah, okay. Gotcha. I'm seeing. He was a big inspiration for why Major Lewis joined the Army. He also came home from a war where no one said thank you. So I wanted to take this opportunity to tell his story. Also, another reason is because he attended my Fire Academy graduation, and after the graduation, he told me, when you graduate from whatever training you do in the Army, I want to be the first one to punch in your pin. That's so sweet. I love that. Absolutely love that. And that is true. He did come back from a war that no one said thank you. And I've talked about Vietnam vets and how they have a huge special place in my heart. Yeah, very, very cool. We talked about Major Lewis last week. For those of you who were not here, he is the we can read his again. He was 11 Bravo, served from 1999 to 2025 during Operation Enduring Freedom, Iraqi Freedom, and like a shit ton more. and he is the one who loves shooting his guns and doing government contracting, and he's a huge car guy. So that was him. But anyway, Papa Eve has a story that he told me, much to Mama Eve's dismay. She's pretty pissed that he told this story. He casually told this story like in the car on the way. I forget where the fuck we were going. I think we were going to grandparents' house or something. And he goes, "Yeah, there was this one time that I like really had to go. And all he had was a fun-sized chip bag from, like, you know, the Lay's chip bags that are like small snack size, from his MRE. And he's like, when you gotta go, you gotta go. So he, in the back of the truck that they were traveling in, just did it in the little Lay's chip bag." I was like, what the fuck? Also, I have no idea where this story like came out of, but he loves to tell it. He's very proud of this accomplishment during his training days. Yeah, very strange. As for mine is about a phantom shitter, and we can talk about that. You know what? Let's talk about that now before we move on to the next one, because I feel like if I mention it and I move on, people are gonna be like, "Oh, fucking what?" So anyway, a phantom shitter on a ship is somebody who goes to the bathroom where they are not supposed to, nowhere where they're supposed to, and you know, they leave it for other people to find. Let's just say that. So we had a phantom shitter on my first deployment. This was my first CO at the time. He was getting ready to leave the boat. His name is Admiral Brown. At the time, he was Captain Brown. Captain Brown had zero fucking chill. Like, absolutely fucking zero. This man would get over on the 1MC, which is like the big announcement system for the entire ship, the PA system, and he would just roast people. Admiral Brown, who wrote that? He would just roast people. Like, he would get complaint cards and everything, and he would roast the complaint cards. Zero fucking chill. Ruled the ship with an iron fist. You either loved him or hated him. I was not there long enough to form an opinion of him, because after that we got Captain Walter Slaughter, which is the fucking kick-ass name, dude. Captain Slaughter was a shit. But anyway, this was like one of the last weeks before Admiral Brown was due to leave, and he gets over on the 1MC. It's dinner time, okay? So there's hella people on the mess decks, myself included, and I'm sitting there with my friends, and he comes over the 1MC, and he is pissed. Like very, very obviously fucking pissed. And he goes, "I don't know who the fuck is doing it. I don't care who the fuck is doing it. I will fucking find you. But you gotta stop." I can't do it. You gotta stop shitting in the showers and waffle stomping it down the drain. He said it just like that. There was no like, you know, good evening. There was no captain here. Absolutely nothing. No warning. He just came out with that and went on to roast this person for 10 fucking minutes. Literally, I was looking at my shipmate across from me who had fucking mashed potatoes borderline coming out of his nose because he was laughing so goddamn fucking hard. It was just the most unhinged fucking rant I have ever heard in my life. I wish I had it on like video or something, because for 10 long minutes, 10 minutes, this man roasted the fuck out of this person. Needless to say, there were no more incidents of this. So I don't know what happened to this person. I don't know if they caught him and then they, you know, sent him up to mass. I say him because it was happening in male heads. So I don't know if they caught him or if he turned himself in or he just stopped doing it. But yeah. Yeah. So when I don't mean it lightly when I say that every veteran has a poop story. I genuinely everyone, whether it involves them, involves somebody they know, or like it's just everyone has one. It just so happens that mine happened, or I witnessed it very early in my career, like literally the first year. Um, but yeah, yeah, that's one of mine. That's one of mine. Second one is along the same lines with a phantom shitter. I swear to God, we could not go one deployment without a phantom shitter. It happens. That was just the most unhinged one because again, Captain Brown for 10 fucking minutes. I wish I had this rant because it was pretty fucking legendary. And again, no good evening, no hey, how's it going? You know, Captain Slaughter used to call us Lincoln Nation. I don't remember what the fuck Captain Brown called us. Couldn't fucking tell you. But yeah. Yeah. That was in fact a fucking thing. All right, on to our last submission. We have great segue, by the way. We're segueing into an Air Force veteran as I'm talking about. Oh God, as I'm talking about shit stories. Fantastic. We have Master Sergeant Josephine M. Air Force 67, November 20, which is tilt rotor aircraft mechanic. Also a 4 November 0 X-ray 1, which is a Huey medic. Served from 1963 to 1985. So while not directly deployed to Vietnam, he flew over 250 combat sorties in and out of Vietnam while being stationed in Turkey from 1965 to 1972. He flew as a door gunner on a UH-1 Alpha Huey, and when he was still a mechanic, then he flew in Hueys as a medic as well. He never did tell stories directly to any of us, but in his diary during his time in country, he recounted that during a medic flight, they were ambushed during an extraction, and that led to him getting shot twice. Holy fuck. Once in the leg and once in the stomach, while pulling the wounded Marine into his helicopter. It wasn't until he finally stabilized the two Marines who needed to be airlifted that he began to work on himself, and he would get a Purple Heart for this and be honored with a Bronze Star. Holy fuck. Not so fun fact, but our family had to fight the United States government to give my grandpa his Vietnam veteran status after his death because they refused to do so. He was stationed in Vietnam. He was a race car driver, a master mechanic, and could pretty much build anything you could want. Holy shit. Well, that's pretty fucking cool. He's a total badass. And why are you nominating? I simply loved my grandpa, and I wanted to share him with everyone as much as I can. Well, he is a total fucking badass, and that is so shitty that you have to fight for that status. Absolutely shitty. But absolute fucking legend. So it sounds like a COD lobby with Admiral Brown. Honestly, yes. Actually, I've never heard something more perfect to describe this man, other than like a 12-year-old in a COD lobby. It just, and I'll even go a step further. Like, we're talking 2014 Minnesota Burns era COD lobbies. Yeah, he was not a family friendly, one could say. Yeah. He was something. And then we got Captain Slaughter, who was cool as shit. If you look him up on the internet, you will see him with a cowboy hat. Actually, let me pull up a picture of him because this man is cool as shit. I want to show you. Let's see. shit, I mean, we could talk about my old captain. My favorite captain. I went through 3 during my time. Where's him? There's a picture of him on the internet with his cowboy hat. I'd be so upset if we can't find him with his cowboy hat. I might have to look on DVids. But it was literally a command cowboy hat. Maybe they didn't. I'm gonna be so sad if they didn't take a photo of him. He wore it in particular for his change of command as he was leaving. He would wear it even before that, but like, fuck. Damn, that sucks. I can't find it. I can find his USS New Orleans LPD 8018 biography, which is where he was before, but I cannot find his fucking. That's actually very disappointing. If I ever find it, I will let you guys know. Oh, DVids has a video. Oh no, it's an edited video. it's a PR video, so it's not gonna have his it's not gonna have his cowboy hat. Damn. That sucks. Anyway. He's cool as shit too. Let me here, we can pull up his biography real quick. Let me go to our other page. So I can show you. God, I need to lock myself into a position or something. keep floating away. I keep floating away. Oh my. Oh my. Why are we so blown up here? Oh Lord, she's floating away. Gravity is a suggestion. Oh gosh. See what I mean? Like it always ends up. So that's him. That's him. He looks like you know, if like I don't want to move me. Well, he looks like a jolly man, and that's because he is. Like literally everywhere he went, fucking smiling and shit. So that's him. I want to kind of pull this up on a separate thing. Fucking what? I don't know why this is doing this, but I can never win. His call sign is Sarge. So he's also got a badass call sign. But Captain Walt Sarge Slaughter is a native of Austin, Texas. He attended Texas A&M University prior to joining the Navy through the Naval Aviation Cadet Program. In October 1991, Captain Slaughter received his commission. He was designated as a naval aviator at the NAS Meridian, Mississippi. His first assignment was as an instructor pilot in the Attack Frogs, or VT-19, flying T-2 Charlie Buckeye. In September 1992, Captain Slaughter reported to the Shamrocks, or VS-41, for initial training for the S-3B Viking, and upon completion of joining the Red Griffins, which is VS-38, from December 1993 until August 1997, he completed 2 deployments aboard the USS Constellation, which is CV-64. And in September 1997, he returned to VS-41 as an instructor pilot and LSO. He returned to the fleet May 1999 as a Carrier Air Wing 9 LSO, cross-training Tomcats, so cats, uh, and he deployed with the John C. Stennis CVN-74, flying combat missions in support of Operation Southern Watch, and selected for transition to the Tomcat community. And then I totally forgot that he was Tomcat. In November 2000, he reported to the Fighting Checkmates, VF 211, serving as Assistant Maintenance Officer. And he deployed on the John C. Stennis in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. After a transition to F-14 Deltas, Captain Slaughter reported to the Fighting Black Lions, which is VFA 213 in May 2003, serving as the Quality Assurance and Operations Officer. Then he deployed on the USS Theodore Roosevelt, CVN-71, in support of Iraqi freedom. Operation Iraqi Freedom. Whew, man, he's been everywhere, dude. This is we're only halfway through, and it doesn't even mention, you know, him being on my ship, because this was the ship prior. November of 2005, he reported to the United States Joint Forces Command in Suffolk within the Joint Center for Operational Analysis, and he served as an operations analyst and executive assistant to the director. He's selected for Strike Fighter Command, completed the F-18 Super Hornet training at VFA 106, and in May 2008 reported to VFA 213 as the XO, as the executive officer. Following an extended combat deployment, poor guy, he got an extended combat deployment with us too, with the USS Theodore Roosevelt in CVN 71 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. He assured command of the Black Lions in August 2009. In January 2011, he then went to OPNAV N88 as a special programs officer, where he was selected for the Aviation Nuclear Power Program, and that's where he began his nuclear power training track in January of 2012, and graduated with distinction, which, by the way, the nuclear program in general is fucking hard as shit. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you. It is fucking tough. He served as XO on the Carl Vinson, CVN-70, and from August 2013 to September 2015 completed a 10-month deployment in support of Operation Inherent Resolve. He then assumed command of the USS New Orleans LPD-18, November 2016, so he's the CO. And then he has more than 4,750 flight hours and 1,155 carrier arrested landings. His decorations include Defense Meritorious Service Medal, Meritorious Service Medal 3 awards, Air Medal 4, Strike, Flight Awards, Navy Marine Corps Commendation Medal 3, and Joint Service Achievement Medal, and the Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal 3 of those, and numerous unit, campaign, and service medals. Oh my god. That's a lot. And again, that doesn't even conclude it, because after he went to the Lincoln, where I came from. Oh, look. Oh my god, there's like a ton of photos of him. Hold on, you guys. You can see him over there cutting a turkey. Carving a turkey. You know, as one does. Honestly, that's yeah, that's about right. That is what he did as CO as well. And then a lot of pictures from Change of Command when Captain Amy Bauernschmidt took control. But yeah, oh, there he is with a little birthday hat. That's Carl Vincent. Very cool. I want a picture of his cowboy hat though. Like I really need you guys to understand how fucking kick-ass this cowboy hat is. But yeah, that was honestly a really emotional change of command. We did not want him to leave. I think there were several people who like low-key cried because they didn't want him to leave. But anyway, yeah, that was that ceremony. It's actually a good ceremony. I had to stand in ranks. That was about it. That was my only contribution to that ceremony. Was just standing there and looking pretty. Oh god, but anyway, that's the guy who came after Captain Brown. Dude looks like the default jolly sitcom character. You would never know. Yes, yeah, and he flew every day, every single day. I don't think there's. I think there were a few occasions where he didn't fly, but he tried to get up again every single day, much to the, I think, dismay of our admiral at the time, who would rather him not. But what are you really gonna do? Man wants to fly. He's gonna fly. Yes, we do have our charity stream coming up on the 19th. That is true. I am very excited about that. I know Maggie talked about it. I talked about it a little bit on our last stream, but he's like, Maverick. Honestly, yes. Yeah. Except I don't know. He how do I explain? He was, but then he also wasn't. I feel like Maverick has like an air, like a pompous air to him. And that's, that's part of his appeal is, he kind of knows he's a hotshot. Whereas Captain Slaughter, he wanted to do him. Genuinely. And like, he didn't want us to stand at attention if he came through the P-way. He would come through the P-way during cleaners every day. We would see him. He tried to make it a point to make sure he got damn near everywhere on the ship. During that hour that we are supposed to be cleaning, which we call power hour, he wanted to make sure that he got, as much of the ship covered. Not because he was like, inspecting it. Because the man was not inspecting his ship. If he was doing a pretty good job of hiding that he was inspecting. He just wanted to talk to people. Like, he just wanted to fucking talk. He was a big yapper. If he caught you in the P-way or something, just be prepared to yap. But yeah, he was a really good CO, and like I said, a lot of people were very, very upset when he left. Beyond upset. But yes. I am, like I said, I am excited for our stack up charity stream. If you guys have not seen the tweeters or were not on Maggie's stream, we are doing an event with Stack Up. And they are calling the event the Call to Arms 2025. It's for their Memorial Day fundraiser. And so we will be running charity streams through Twitch and through Tiltify to help them out. I talked a little bit about Stack Up, but Stack Up, they are, excuse me. Oh my God. I might need to get some Vassar because I did a lot of reading. So now my throat be dry. But anyway, I want to read this off to you, but it's a 501c3 military charity that supports active and veteran service members from the US and allied nations, so not just United States, anyone, by promoting positive mental health and offering support services through gaming and geek culture. So what the fuck? No, we're not getting a call. Why? We're not getting a call. Why did that pop up? Anyway, they do quite a lot. I am very impressed by them as a veteran service organization. You don't have to be a veteran to join their Discord, by the way, or to benefit from any of the mental health resources that they provide. They very much believe that resources are not to be gatekept, but rather to be shared. So they do have their own Discord if anybody is interested in that. But some of the things that they do, I want to just highlight. So they have a few, I believe 4 different programs. So they do supply crates, and they will send supply crates to US and allied service members. And I know there are some people on here who are active duty or veterans. You can apply for these. Let me just throw it in chat for those who are interested. So the supply crates are video game care packages for the latest games, gear, and console sent to deployed units and veterans who need a raise in their morale, build camaraderie, combat PTSD, and fight for the rising tides of veteran suicide. Hey, Max, what's up? We're talking about Stack Up. So for anybody who is a service member or unit that is deployed, it can also be forward deployed, by the way, from what their organizer told us. By us, I actually was in a call with her, or one of their organizers, super sweet gal. So they have supply crates to aid and prevent the onset of operational stress by providing a healthy outlet for decompression. And then for prior service members, the supply crates provide a way to stay engaged with the military and veteran community and help prevent the isolation that is felt by many after military service. So there is that. I'm forward deployed to my comfy chair. Does that count? I mean, you can absolutely apply to receive that. She said that they try to send out 2 supply crates a month, one to a unit and then one to a veteran. Selection is based on a variety of factors: personal story, mission impact, and they say, unfortunately, we won't be able to support everyone who applies, but it is still a thing that they do. And she even said there's been units before that said, hey, like, we don't have a TV. They've sent TVs. Hey, we have a TV, but, CO told us we're not allowed to fucking use it for gaming or whatever it is. So they ended up sending them board games and D&D, Warhammer stuff, like, just so it's not necessarily just video games and consoles and electronics and all that stuff. They send a variety of things. Then they have Air Assault, and Air Assault is their way of sending veterans who are dealing with a variety of mental health issues, or mental health. It doesn't even have to be like a diagnosis or anything, just they're going through a tough time. They need somewhere to connect. And they send them to conventions like Penny Arcade, Comic-Con, E3, TwitchCon. You do not need to be a combat disabled veteran, by the way. They make that very clear. And it can be anybody who is deserving active duty, retired veteran within US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, other NATO allied countries with an honorable discharge. So you can also apply for that. I'll drop that one in the chat if you're interested. I did ask some questions following up on that because personally, I have also been to cons, and cons can be rough. They can be very draining on somebody who has spicy nostalgia, as I like to call it. The hypervigilance in particular makes it very difficult. So I did ask about that, like how do they kind of help the veterans who go? And she said everybody goes in a group, and everybody gets a hotel room or something that is very close to the convention, so that in the case that they need something or someplace quiet to decompress or to ground themselves, they do that, which I think is amazing. They take a lot of this into account before bringing vets to these events. But that is pretty cool. That's their second program. Then they have the Phalanx. Sorry, she said it to me. I'll put it in the chat as well. She said it to me, and I can't remember how it's pronounced, so I'm so sorry. But Phalanx is a donated house that is in Los Angeles, and what they end up doing is they fly veterans out to the house in Los Angeles, or they allow veterans who are in the local homeless shelter to come visit. Either they do trips to Disney or Hollywood, the beach. Sometimes they just do events at the house on the weekends. But one of the biggest things, and one of the, I guess one of the biggest things that people benefit from, especially the veterans who are in, whether it's wounded warrior housing, community housing, that type of thing, sometimes the showers aren't great at those places. Sometimes the washing machines don't work quite right. So they actually get a place to be able to do their laundry, take a nice shower with some good, good water pressure. One of the things they say that they also do board game nights, Dungeons and Dragons, one-shot adventures, pizza parties while watching the latest nerd flick, or just swimming in the pool and lounging in the hot tub. So it was a donated house, which I think is so cool. Somebody just donated this whole house and was like, "Yep, I want it to go to veterans who need a place to game, who just they need a place to go." So that is pretty cool. And then their last program, or I shouldn't say the last program, because they've got 5. They've got the Overwatch program. The Overwatch program is crisis mitigation. Like I said, they have a Discord. I just dropped it in there. And that is where they will run events. They will do mental health game nights. And you can join their Discord server and have fun with people. Again, she said they do not discriminate against anyone. So again, you do not have to be a veteran to join their Discord server. So I think that is pretty fucking cool. But their primary method to doing like crisis mitigation is the mental health game nights. It's led by a community manager. They are trained in crisis management just in case, but they are game nights that provide an outlet for the community members to relax and connect with others while they discuss problems they may be facing in a non-crisis capacity. So I think that's really cool. You get a place to game and also talk about something that's bothering you, or something that is affecting you. And then the stacks, as they call them, the stacks are like, I guess you could say like troops almost. I'll throw it in there in case anybody, if you wanted to volunteer with them, and actually, actually join one of the stacks and join one of the groups. To volunteer yourself for an event or volunteer yourself for pretty much anything. Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. I was insanely impressed by everything that they were talking about. I think it's a really, really great organization, and I am so excited that we are partnering with them and, being able to help them out with one of their events. I think that's fucking awesome. I believe they have had VTubers in the past, but I don't think they've had like a VTuber organization before. So it will be super exciting. And I honestly cannot wait, and I definitely hope that this opens the door to work with more VSOs in the future, because VSOs are absolutely fucking phenomenal for veterans in general, but for active members as well. So there is that. I just heard that as Phalanx, not gonna lie. I think it's something close to that. Like I said, I can't remember how she pronounced it. Phalanx? Fucking Christ. A phalanx. Oh my god. I don't think I'll have to hear her say it again, because I don't know why. Like it's really tripping me out looking at all the letters. Yeah. And then Phalanx. God, internet will tell you, just Google it. I fucking Googled it. I'm looking at it. What the I'm looking at it right now. Unfortunately, it's not doing me any good. It's not doing me any fucking. It's not helping me. It's not helping my pronunciation. Trust me, I fucking did that. It's not. It does not help. Not helping me. Anyway. So there is that. There are recordings. Yeah, I'll listen to it off stream. If I listen to it on stream, I'm gonna get totally fucking overstimulated. So let's fucking not. God, yeah, that is lovely. Your lovely fucking. I don't even know. Lost my fucking train of thought. It do be like that. It's Friday, and it's the day before the holiday, so it is what it is. It really is what it fucking is. I want to see. There was something else I wanted to talk about with them too, besides just their programs that they have, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. I will probably remember at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I will have to share it with you guys next week. But yeah, finally good to catch a streaming any. I am so happy you're here. We are just chilling at this point. We got through what I wanted to get through topic wise, like quick as fuck. But I mean, I kind of expect that. We didn't prep for Liberty Brief. We're gonna go over a little bit because I guess very exciting. It's Nini's first affiliate stream. So we will be absolutely rating Nini. She's gonna be playing Final Fantasy VII. And I wanna, I don't wanna raid her during the starting screen. So we will go over slightly a little bit, so that we can raid her when she's ready. But yeah, I'm excited for her. Super excited for her. She posted her emotes. I don't know if anybody has, anybody who's seen it, but her emotes are super fucking cute. Remy has some. Yes, show off all the Nini emotes. They are so cute. I love them. I want to get more animated emotes. I've got to, we've brainstormed a few. I also found a spider emote that looks suspiciously like a camel spider. So Remy, you might get this camel spider emote soon. I don't know. She has a copy dot emote. But I found this like emote that is a yellow fucking spider, and it like crawls across the screen, and behind it just has the word nope. I'm like, oh, that yeah, I kind of like that. So I might get that one and just load it in. It's not custom, but it's pretty. It looks like a fucking camel spider, honestly. Nini really is the meme queen. Yes, she is the. I don't know how the fuck she pumps out so many memes. I'm not gonna lie. I will admit my creativity meter for memes has been like surprisingly low. Normally I'm pretty. I get pretty into it, but compared to Nini, that is nothing compared to Nini. I am like the junior division, like fucking junior varsity. The varsity of meme creation. Gosh, and they're so good too. I'm like, damn, not gonna be able to top that one. Or manifesting. God, we will, yeah, we will definitely have more emotes coming soon. So You can also some of you have dropped some ideas, so if you do have ideas, feel free to send it to Message and Talent, and we can get started on some more emotes, because that would be fucking sick. Fucking sick. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII. She she says, okay, so I think, is it 7 or wait, what the fuck is she? What is she playing? Now I'm like shit. I could have sworn I read 7 on her. It's yeah, okay, it is 7. Yes. Yes. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Um this came after like I went on my rant about how Wizard 101 we're going to fucking excuse me. We're going to get everybody on on fucking MMOs. And Nini goes, this is in different chat. She goes, we're not getting people hooked on phonics. We're getting people hooked on MMOs. I was like, honestly, yes. 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 God, oh my god. I think you got Night Rose into, you saw them streaming. It's spreading. It's like a plague. Oh god, we're gonna have to have like an extra long Wizard 101 stream because of Garrett during the Stack Up fundraiser, because he's a Stack Up dinosaur. He wears a little Stack Up t-shirt. So thank you, Remy. I appreciate it. Remy is on Yap Watch. I said yesterday I rated Mo for morning Mo way too early because I really needed to go to the bathroom. Like I was like, I cannot, I need to go. I need to go. And I felt bad. I was like, shit, she's not ready. They're not ready. It happens, okay? It happens. I drank like the whole thing of water. People would be proud of me. People would be proud of me. During stream, I drank my whole thing of water, and then I was like, well, this is not a fucking great idea. No, it wasn't. No, it's number 1, not number 2. Not number 2. Not number 2. Wait, I already told my poop story for this stream, so. Oh god, yeah. Again, not necessarily mine, but a waffle stomper, a phantom shitter. It happens. Listen, I'm telling you, they exist on every deployment and they exist on every vessel. I have not met one sailor who has not encountered a phantom shitter during their time at sea. It's just a thing. I don't know why. I don't know why, but it's just a thing. Name a better duo. No, veterans. I'm telling you, veterans and poop stories are honestly a better duo than VTubers and poop stories. I'm just gonna be honest, but it is literally the most unhinged, the most unhinged stories you can think of come from veterans and them going to the bathroom. Yeah. If I could. I don't even, let's not. Let's fucking not. Oh yeah, Memorial Day is coming up. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Do you know DeFay? God. Oh goodness. Let's not. I feel, let's not awaken that. We've already got, listen guys. We already have one hyperfixation for this week, and that being Mr. Frog. I fear this is all us talents can handle, okay? We cannot handle 2 hyperfixations by the Admiral at once. That is just, we could not. I took a huge chance by exposing him to fucking Greg. And thank God. Thank fucking God he thought, because I was really concerned for a second that introducing him to old Greg would fucking spawn something. So thank God it didn't. Thank God it didn't. But there was a huge chance. Hyperfixation on what? Yesterday, the Admiral crashed multiple streams. Not just my stream, Lucy's stream, Faye's stream, fucking basically everyone went in, called us, and debuted his new art of Mr. Frog, doing a Mr. Frog impression. So it is on the VOD from yesterday. It is right at the beginning. It's right at the beginning. So you don't have to go too far into my VOD to find it. But he did that. Last week and the week prior to that, it was Chicken Jockey. It honestly still is a little bit Chicken Jockey. We're still getting slight Chicken Jockey. We cannot survive. We cannot survive 2 hyperfixations at once. We just can't. He didn't even try to save Faye from the water. When I saw she was doing underwater karaoke, I about fucking died. I find it so funny. Prayers to the Truman though. On the real. I know they are not doing well out there. They're really not, but it's still funny. It's still kind of funny. A little bit. Just fucking slightly. He tried to practically keep her there. Oh god. Oh no. Wait, again. Don't give any ideas. Don't put anything in the fucking in the Discord. For him to fucking we will not survive. We cannot survive. We need to just ride out this Mr. Frog phase. Unlike every emo kid, these things are in fact just a phase. They too shall pass. But yeah. Yep. Right now, it's Mr. Frog. Possibly Chicken Jockey. Leroy Jenkins, please do not. Please do not. Oh god. Yeah. I am kind of scared that the next thing is going to be SpongeBob related. I have my reasons. I have my reasons to believe. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised he didn't pop in and say some shit about Leif Erikson's day. Jeez. Oh yeah, Nini is yapping. Okay. All right, guys. It's Friday. So this is the most important Liberty Brief, and especially since it's Constitution Day tomorrow where I live. So there's gonna be a lot of drinking and partying going on. So Liberty call. Don't make a life. Don't take a life. Don't add or subtract to the population. If you're driving, don't drink. If you're drinking, don't drive. If you find yourself in jail, establish dominance as quickly as possible and check in with a buddy. Text a buddy, call a buddy, see how they're doing. You never know what's going on with them. They might need that hi, hello, how are ya? So I can tell Admiral's a huge meme guy. He is. Anyway, guys, when we go into Nini's stream, we need to absolutely fucking congratulate the shit out of her for achieving affiliate status. Again, this is her first affiliate stream. So go show her some love. Go show her some support. We greatly appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys next week and we'll kick off our Stack Up fundraiser, which is super fucking exciting. All right, guys, I will see y'all later. Bye.
You guys actually, this is a new record. You guys hit a record when I was offline because you're crazy people and I love you. Who's rating? Who's rating? Who's in here? Who's in here? Who's in here? Who's in here? Who in here? Eve? Can we give Eve a shout out, please? Thank you. Hi, Eve. Hello, Raiders. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. How are you? How are you? How are you? Thank you, thank you. What the?